Hey everybody, it's Steve with Three Fat Truckers. We're down here at the Match 2024 show in Louisville, Kentucky. Sitting here all with me always is Dave and Bill. How we doing, gentlemen?
Finer and Frog hair.
Having a wonderful day down here at the show.
Well, we're rolling out the interviews today. We got a good one here now, boys and girls. This here is Justin Schaffer with Suburban Towing. This is the gentleman. I'm sure you've seen all the extra stuff on TikTok, Facebook, the news of
World
the
news.
2nd Street Bridge down here at Louisville with a truck dangling off the edge. Well, this here is the gentleman that actually helped remove that truck from the bridge.
Kept him from getting wet, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he's got some pictures and a good story about everything. So, with all ado, I'll let you go, Justin.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Where do you want to
This is
start?
going to be a doozy.
Anytime you can keep a truck from getting wet when it's hanging off only by the dollies and the bottom of the trailer is impressive.
Where actually, what was actually hooked that was holding it?
First
Was
off,
it the dollies or?
it was a refrigerated van trailer, and the dolly legs collapsed underneath the trailer, and they were poking through the concrete, which is on the sidewalk, about a 6-foot sidewalk walkway, along right next to the bridge, to the
Yeah.
main bridge deck itself. And
'Cause
those
there
dollies
that
poked
was
through.
an actual for pedestrian, wasn't it?
Yes,
There.
pedestrian.
Well,
walkway.
I thought
before-
there was on that bridge.
Before we get to there, let's get back it up. Tell how
Oh.
this all started. Let's start
Yes.
from the beginning.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that's a doozy as well.
Yeah. I heard the story yesterday. So
The news report that came out, I don't know, a week and a half or so ago now, came out where an electric vehicle actually stalled on the bridge and was causing a traffic backup, and an aggressive driver in a pickup truck was weaving in and out of traffic and wound up hitting two vehicles and then veering into the commercial motor vehicle that was coming the opposite way. And that's how it knocked her to where knocked her steering out or whatever the case may be, and that's essentially how she hit the guardrail and went through the side of the bridge. And that truck, just imagine it was hanging like 60% of that truck was hanging over the side of that bridge and
Side.
straight down into the river,
now,
towards the
was
river.
she loaded completely?
It had restaurant supplies on it. It's food supply
Cisco
company.
truck, I believe, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Approximately how much weight still left in it?
We figured it was early enough in the day. I think she might have had one stop off, so
So
she probably had about 25,000, I would say, in that box.
Yeah.
And with the combination of the truck and the trailer and the load, I'd say we were probably in the 65,000 pound range, in that range somewhere. And it was just hanging basically by a thread, because the rear header section of that trailer, the door frame section, the header came up and it caught with the dolly legs poking into the concrete. The header came up and caught on a bridge girder itself, and about an 8-inch piece of the bridge girder was all that was holding the top
so it
corner.
basically, back of the trailer, hit the beams crossing the face, is holding it, stopping it from going the rest of the way.
Yep. And the lift gate of the trailer,
Yeah.
standing on the ground looking up, is about 30 feet from the ground
ground
to
all
the
the way.
lift gate of the trailer.
Wow. Back of the trailer, holding, that's it.
Yep.
Now,
Water directly underneath, or
Yeah, water was directly underneath.
did they have you guys come in and hook it so it didn't move anymore before the fire department did anything, or how'd that work?
Originally, the fire department requested us to be there in case it slipped. I don't know if it would have slipped. I don't think it would have stopped slipping. I think it would have just went.
Right.
Been hanging
Yeah.
by the cable.
Yeah. But we didn't actually hook to it at first. They didn't want to. They didn't want any movement, anything to hinder anything. They wanted to get her out of there. And the Louisville Fire Department and the Louisville EMS did a fabulous recovery or rescue.
They was on
rescue of
national
her.
TV
Yeah.
under the
Yeah.
scope. You know what I mean?
Everybody watching.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like something out of a movie.
It was. I've described it as that.
Amazing.
I think the real hero in this story, that fifth wheel locking pin.
Yeah. Whoever that plate was that was on that one, they're gonna sell a bunch.
Fontaine.
Fontaine. Wasn't a
but
Reese.
yeah.
Or whatever.
But the other thing too about that is that trailer or that tractor had a rigid mount fifth wheel. It did not have a sliding mechanism fifth wheel, and I think that played a huge role in it too.
Oh yeah,
because
slidey one. I think you'd have ripped it out.
the sliders, we see a lot of them breaking under smaller accidents, just
Yeah.
normal small jackknife situations, even with empty trailers, and
yeah.
and they're breaking fifth wheels off.
Need to put them pictures up on. Yeah.
I can email you guys or send or text
Sure.
them to or whatever. I can send you all those
I
pictures.
can take pictures of my
Email
phone
me.
too. Either way, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Email me all the
Email.
Yep. Yep.
So how long was after they got her out of there? Was the process for you guys to get that drug up?
We were on scene. Well, we were
Well,
on the call exactly for
Like
about.
jumping the gun here.
yeah, let so they get her out, okay? Before you can do anything, they gotta lower you down there to even hook.
No, actually, where I went down to hook, that was just a process of me climbing down a ladder. There's a manhole in the road
Right.
or in the
I
sidewalk.
seen where you guys
Yeah,
were under
yeah.
the bridge.
Yeah, there's
And you were able to hook on to the truck at that point.
there was an
good enough?
observation there was an observation deck or a catwalk, if you will, and it was right on a bridge support pier.
Okay.
So everything just worked out good that day. I mean, it just everything worked out great. The right side of the truck, we were able to get it hooked with we used 3 of our rotating boom tow trucks to perform this recovery, and the right side of it we could get to the corner pockets of the trailer, and that's all that we could rig to was the corner pockets because you couldn't touch it with anything else.
Right.
You couldn't get to the truck to put a chain or a
Yeah.
strap or anything on it. So we just had to.
Well, that's why I was thinking even the fire department would have to lower you to put a chain around the
Yeah.
truck.
At that point, the fire department just kind of backs up and lets us have our space,
Oh.
and
So you basically got to
We're-
do a basket yourself.
we have to do whatever we need to do. Yeah, we're on our own at that point.
Yeah.
But we train for stuff like this, and throughout the year we train for it. We also do school. We've been to many different schooling and classes for things like this. But you can never train for this type of job.
Yeah, that.
I mean, you can't recreate this.
No, you
Tell them, hey, we need to borrow a bridge in the river for a little bit to
Right.
recreate this
And
scene.
Shut the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cut the road down, and I want the trailer to
Yeah.
catch on that one bar up there, and that's it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You can't train for that.
No, that is amazing.
And it was just a fly by the seat of your pants.
The reason is I was a train operator for just about 15 years, and I did road train work and I'd run drag lines and stuff, but I did do a lot of lifting and hauling, so I know all about the rigging. I know how you got to rig stuff and to rig stuff to make it pick up the way you want it. It seemed, looking at me, it looked like the first thing you do is you put a truck out there just to get a hold of it, so you can before you can do anything, you just got to get something on it, because any time that could let loose.
Exactly.
Then you can worry about getting it hooked and bringing it up. And it looks like you'd almost have to stair step it because you got to bring it back into the bridge.
Right.
Yeah,
The truck on the back essentially did exactly what you're talking about. Take control of it, and that truck actually essentially pulled it back onto the roadway itself because of the drag winch on the back of that truck.
Right.
And it controlled the rear of the trailer, so the rear of the trailer you could bring it down nice and easy. But before you got to do anything, once you get it hooked, you have to start raising the front of that. The front's got to come up, and the rear's got to come up. So you're lifting that whole 65,000.
Yeah, at an angle in a bridge.
Yes.
With overhead shit.
Yes. Pointing straight down at the river, and you're lifting it straight up.
Yeah.
Before you can bring the back end down.
Right. To level it off,
Yes.
till you bring it back in.
Yeah.
Just, that's how long?
We were on job for right at 10 hours from the time dispatched till the time we cleared was right about 10 hours.
You bought lunch.
And we didn't have a thing.
No lunch break.
No lunch break. No water breaks. No nothing. Just hardcore. Everything was
working off pure adrenaline at that point.
I was working with 3 of the best guys you could possibly work with as far as operators go. 2 other operators besides myself. I'll mention those guys. That was Jeff Edwards. It was Stanley, and then myself as an operator, and then we had a scene safety supervisor. His name was Jim Knight, and the four of us guys combined have over 100 years of experience in this industry. I've got 35 plus years myself,
Mhm.
and in the
Did you have any moments where it felt a little dodgy and you thought maybe something bad was getting ready to happen?
no, the way you got to get your mindset to do that is failure is not an option. You're on this big of a stage, and there's so many people looking at you right now. If you lost the,
Cameras were there.
yes, if you lost anything, you're going to be, you're, you know, how many people do you think were watching this thing and hoping to see you fail?
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
that's
Well,
Half
that's
the
the way
country.
the society
Half
is.
the country was.
All of the hang on your edge cliffhangers.
exactly. I had 62 text messages on my phone when I left that bridge that night. I had 62 different messages from people all over the country that seen it on national news and knew that I was there just because of who the company was and who I was, And that was one of the
Are you the
coolest
senior
things.
man out of everybody?
Actually, I've only been with Suburban for 2 years myself, but like I said, I've been in this
Was
industry.
you the one in charge though,
Were
or
you
was
one
it
in
just
charge
pretty
of
much
this?
say it was a group effort?
It was a group.
There
It was
you
a
go.
group. It was a group effort. I mean, exactly.
There's
It was.
still somebody in charge. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got whoever it is coming up with the plan how you're going to do it.
yeah.
Yes.
And you all see
whether
it.
that's one person or a collaboration of
Right, a
everybody.
collaboration.
What do you think? I think it's the best way.
But all four of us, we were at a different mindset that day. It was like we were more of a fine-tuned or dialed in, if you
Right.
will.
Yep.
It was just it was a great effort. I mean, and I think I've had friends of mine call me and say that's going to be the recovery of the year, and all this other stuff, and it might be. I mean, but I know a lot of guys that do some really good stuff too. They've done some
Not
really
with the
neat,
spotlight on them.
really neat. Yeah.
You had the world watching you, everything you were doing at that point.
And the other thing too is, our industry gets a bad eye. There's bad actors in every industry. People that maybe do some shady stuff or whatnot. And, it brings a good light to companies like ours that do everything legitimately, legally, and fairly to our customers.
Right.
Our company was started by Irvin Johns in 1969, so he's been in business for 55 years, and that's no small feat, especially in today's society.
Yeah.
That's no small feat
So
at
you're
all.
not the guy going into McDonald's after you've been in there 10 minutes, towing the car, taking it down to the lockup.
Absolutely
And
not.
That's the bad reputation
Yes,
that these
that-
guys get.
Yes.
Go in there and make deals with these guys to screw people out of their cars.
Yeah,
Amazing.
there's been some national spotlight on some truck towing companies that do the same
They're
kind
doing
of
the same
stuff.
thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
think,
a
matter of fact, I have heard
predatory deal, and
Yeah.
It's the ones you see all on TikTok with people putting boots on.
right,
bridges across.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the concrete barrier in front of them so they can't move.
So,
Yeah, it's
and it's all a scam for money. It's a money. It's
Yeah.
a money tool. But this, I love this because, like I said, I've never been a record driver, and I don't know why I didn't get in. I would be perfect at it. I've done it
Because you had a little bit more in between your two ears.
Actually, the part that I didn't like, there ain't much up there. The part that I didn't like was, do I really want to be on call all the time? There was, and then
Yeah.
with my lifestyle, my wife, and kids, and that stuff. That's probably why
You didn't want those 3 a.m. phone calls.
I don't mind the 3 a.m. phone
he was
calls.
still up at
Can't
3
say I
a.m.
do.
Trust me.
It means I'm at the campground trying to get, and now I gotta go all the way back home and go to work. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a tough life and it's a tough job, but it's a desperate, needed job that we need
Oh,
done.
Oh, and this
it's needed
here,
done by good
knowing at the end of the day that lady got out
Yeah.
safe, that got picked up off the bridge without causing any more.
It did the best
Yeah.
part. They got the person out, saved a life, but he also saved the truck.
Yeah.
Just
Did
Just
the
the truck-
fiberglass hood ever end up falling into the
It
river?
did not.
Yeah,
It
stayed
came
on
up,
there?
It came up
I was
with
looking at
us.
that picture. That thing was just hanging by nothing.
you don't realize the environmental statute of that thing going in
Oh
the
yeah,
water.
the oil and
I mean,
diesel
there's
in the
so
river.
much that can go wrong, and just knock
None
it.
of it.
There was
did.
one
None of it
picture,
did.
yeah,
These
it
guys
was just-
snatched that thing off.
There's the hood still on the truck
That's
right there in
right.
that picture.
I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be in the river for sure.
Well done. Well done.
I would have thought, when we were bringing it up, I would have thought a piece of that hood or the hood itself. I mean, it wasn't out of the realm. I expected it.
Do you have a boat down on the water for anything?
There were, well, the Coast Guard and the fire and police, River Patrol police,
Yeah.
they had the river traffic shut down. So they had boats out there, and they had it, to where you couldn't, because I'm sure some crazy person was going to get out there with a boat and start taking pictures, right underneath where we were at.
Yeah, just slide 3-4 barges under and push it off.
People said that too, and they don't realize what 65,000 crashing,
When it hit that water, what it's gonna
dropping
do,
70 feet first,
Yeah.
dropping 70 feet and then crashing into the bridge,
Yeah.
into a barge.
I remember seeing the videos and stuff was on the news where the barges hit the uprights on the bridges and took out a bridge.
Ironically, a week later, in the same place, a bunch of barges broke free just the same way you're talking. And the guy that took all these drone video or pictures, he was there the following week taking pictures of the barges.
hit the same in Button.
Hit the same, yeah.
There's
Hit
a
the
bit of
same
section
bridges.
here.
Yeah.
Spot over here.
Definitely.
He said on his Facebook page, his name is Rich Amon,
Got some good
I
pictures
believe
for you guys.
was his name. But on his Facebook, he put, last week we had a truck hanging off the bridge. This week we have barges.
Bridge hanging off a barge. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we had probably roughly around $3 million worth of equipment sitting on that bridge of ours. And, it,
Did it ruin the integrity of the bridge any? I mean, you said it's still shut down
ne-
north, not south.
well, they opened the bridge back up the next day at like 7 o'clock the next night. But they just wanted to get all their inspections and stuff done.
Of course.
The part that was the worst shape on that bridge was the pedestrian walkway, and they closed it off the pedestrian
It was
traffic.
mostly cosmetic, far as structural. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so now they've got it shut down to where they're doing the emergency repairs to it now. So that's why they have it shut down. It's not all the way shut. I think it's restricted traffic, I believe. I haven't been on it personally since like a week
That's
after.
got to not pay the damn toll.
Yes,
That's what I tried doing on the way down here. Couldn't do it. It was closed.
That's what all the locals do.
And the toll down here, it took me a year to
It took a year.
get the thing.
Yeah.
I got last year's bill like
I'm
a
like,
month
I
ago.
don't even own that truck anymore.
Yeah.
Send it to that person.
But you still own the blade.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I had that same thing with a personal vehicle.
Yeah.
I went over it in September and it didn't send me a bill till like January.
Well, I used to always, I've had a trailer on, and down here in Kentucky, you ain't got to have no plates on a trailer, so zip.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, we had about approximately $3 million worth of equipment on that bridge. This job for a towing company, in all my years of doing this, 30 years ago, I don't know of another towing company that could have done this 30 years ago.
You guys
without.
in Indiana or Kentucky?
We're in Kentucky. We're right here in Louisville, Kentucky, and we do have terminals in Indiana as well.
I thought I'd seen them before.
Okay.
But yeah,
now the smart ass question.
Oh, hey, here we go.
Did we make enough to buy a new truck?
no,
No.
not at all. Not even a dent. Not
That-
even a
that-
dent in
that
a new
should-
truck.
That should be.
Now,
That should be.
who gets billed for this? That company?
Ultimately, the
Or
company
their
that
insurance company?
yeah,
or
ultimately that company will get the bill, and a company that size is more than likely self-insured.
Right.
I would
So they'll just pay cash.
I would say it would come right out of their pockets. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I mean, down the road, I don't know the legalities and who did what, and insurance companies, and then some of these cars, they don't have enough insurance coverage to cover anything like that anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I could
Gotta be on
imagine
the payment plan, right?
I could imagine the bridge is probably more
More than
expensive
the wrecking bill?
than anything else on it.
Well, years ago, I was coming out of Defiance with a dump trailer on and broke PTO cable, the old cables, you pull
Mhm.
out thread and out, broke it, and didn't know the pump was on. Started coming back.
Oh my
Bed went
goodness.
up, empty, hit the bridge. All it did was rip the cylinder. Stood up right underneath the bridge. Just stood it up right there.
Hmm.
The bridge come out. I did $9,000 damage to the trailer, and they said it was only like $3,000. Now this mid '80s, $3,000. And it was just the cosmetic block where the bed hit it. Stuff. But somebody did hit it with a loader trailer once and moved the bridge off those little things.
I've seen those bridges come completely off and
Bridge
land
in
on the road.
Indianapolis
Yeah.
got hit by that car crusher that opened up going down the road.
Yep.
There on 465, and they shut that. They said it was millions of dollars to fix
Yes.
that bridge.
Yeah.
And you can't have enough insurance to pay for that.
No.
Funny thing was, them car crushers, since it was in Indianapolis, it would have been our truck if it was in Fort Wayne. All of that thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're Riley
we
Trucking.
moved,
Is
we used to
who
move.
we actually work for.
Yeah, that was an Omni car crusher.
Yep.
I know.
That company that's moving for them, I think, probably out of business now or something, or really close to it.
Well, I want to
Not
thank
yet.
you guys.
Yep. Nice meeting you guys. Yep.
Great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Appreciate it. Love hearing this stuff. Love.
Thank you,
love
sir.
it. Glad we got to
You
share.
would
it.
email
I'm looking for
Bill.
the pictures. We'll post them all up.
Is your email on one of them cards or something?
Yeah, 3FT podcast. All of them.
Just send it to Bill at 3ftpodcast.org.
How about that?
Yeah, those.
There's
cards over.
okay.
Got any new ones? The newer one?
Give him the new one.
Right there.
I don't have any of your Bill ones.
No, that's fine.
I'll
it'll
look
be
it
the
up on
same.
this. I'll look it up on this.
Waiting on you to give it to him so I can explain it. It'll be the same, except just instead of show, put Bill at 3FT Podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill at
3ftpodcast.org.
okay.
Bill, Steve, or Dave.
Okay.
If you forget his
Send it to
name.
me because I'm the one that'll have to put it on the website.
My father-in-law's name was Bill, so I can't forget that.
Right on.
Sweet William. And you gotta be careful because if you want to message him something and say William, he's gonna block your ass.
Yeah.
Nobody
Nobody
calls
sends
him
him.
William.
It's only
No, it's just how I know when somebody's trying to
Damn
scam me.
you. Yeah.
name Bill. So.
Yep.
Good job,
Well,
guys.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, fellas.
Really, I
Guys, have a
appreciate
good
it.
day.
Dude.